All right, now anybody that's followed my channel since the Warriors first won their championship back in 2015, their first one, know that I'm not fond of Draymond Green, right? But I recognize what he brings to the table, all right? And having said that, I think the Golden State Warriors and their fans are doing Draymond Green a disservice right now with the suspension and their opinions of the suspension. You know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, late in the Warriors' last game against the Los Angeles Clippers, Draymond Green, with time running out, Draymond Green snatched a defensive board over Kevin Durant, and you could see that Kevin Durant was yelling at Draymond Green to give him the ball because he's their best option in that situation. He's their best option. He's their best one-on-one player by far. He's the best offensive player on the team, the best player on the team. But Draymond wasn't giving the ball up. And I don't know what the hell Draymond was trying to do in that situation. In that situation, Draymond was at fault. He tried to force something offensively, lost the ball, and went into overtime, and eventually the Golden State Warriors lost. And what precipitated afterward is what caused the suspension. You could see on the bench with the Warriors with Klay Thompson in between them, which is interesting that he has to sit between them. It kind of suggests to me that maybe there's something going on between these two for a longer period of time than what we think. Draymond and Kevin Durant got into an argument, and reportedly, Draymond called Kevin Durant a bitch. And reportedly, things got even worse in the locker room with Draymond Green calling Kevin Durant a bitch multiple times. And perhaps something even worse was said. Now, about this bitch thing, I think Draymond he can go too far with things. And I think that he knows that that is a touchy word. Because we all got to remember when Kevin Durant first left the Oklahoma City Thunder to go to the Warriors, a lot of us use that phrase to describe him or the move he made. So he's probably aware that Kevin Durant is very sensitive to that. So he used it on purpose to get under his skin. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to say that Draymond deserves no blame for this shit. I don't particularly like him. But you can't argue that the Warriors aren't playing favorites here. It's basically like them saying, look, Draymond, we appreciate what you've done for us, as far as helping us bring the multiple titles to the Bay Area. But you're not first in the pecking order. You're probably, matter of fact, you're probably fourth. It's Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and then you. Know your role. That's basically what the suspension is about. Is to appease Kevin Durant. Because if you guys remember, I think it was last year. It was a game when and Wish Call It brought this up. Shannon Sharp on Undisputed. It was a game last year where Draymond Green had to be physically restrained from going after head coach Steve Kerr. Physically restrained. But the organization didn't feel like they needed to suspend Draymond. I think he was fined. But in this situation, you feel like you had to suspend him for a game without pay? No, it's against a team that they should beat anyway, the Atlanta Hawks. But this suspension, to me, was a gesture to show that, hey, recognize your status, Kevin Durant, and to appease you, we're going to suspend Draymond Green. Never mind the fact that he was the one who recruited you in the first place after Cleveland came back and won the finals after being down 3-1. Never mind the fact, I'm going to say this now before I forget to mention this, never mind the fact that many people who are Golden State Warrior fans or claim to be fans say that in Game 5, without his presence, is the reason why Cleveland even won that series. Even though you got to mention also Bogut being injured and not playing the last 2 games played a factor as well. When Cleveland won the finals, it was, because of all-star Draymond Green not playing in Game 5, which I actually agree with. I think, if Draymond Green played in Game 5, the outcome most likely would have been different. I can't see Golden State losing 3 straight games with Draymond Green in the lineup in all 3 of those games. But now I see Golden State Warrior fanboys, saying shit like, well, trade Draymond. He's a bum anyway. We can't lose Kevin Durant. I'm like, you ungrateful motherfuckers, man. How quickly they forget, man. This is the dude that recruited Kevin Durant in the first place. But like I said, man, it's a lot of people who are legitimate fans of the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? And the people who I've encountered, Casey always comes to mind on my channel. He's a legitimate Golden State Warrior fan. Been one since I first started my channel. This is back when it was still, who was in the backcourt? That's when it was still Stephen Curry and Monte Ellis. When they were a good team, but not a great team. And I'm pretty sure even before that, when they sucked during the 2000s and most of the 90s, he's probably been a fan of that team. But it's a lot of fanboys, man. It's a lot of people who only like teams because they're winning. What happened to all the Heat fans? What happened to all the Heat fans that were out there, 5, 6, 7 years ago? Where are they? But back to this situation. I'm pretty sure that Draymond Green feels a certain way about Kevin Durant, man. I know he feels now like the organization values Durant more than him. That's something that is probably getting under his skin. And this is something that I had said before. You might remember me saying in multiple videos that this was going to be a problem eventually with the Golden State Warriors, because after this season, you're going to have 3 players in their lineup that are due for big contracts. Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, his contract expires after this year, and Kevin Durant. And I don't see how you're going to be able to sign all 3 of these dudes to max or near max deals. It's not going to happen. So somebody's going to be jettisoned off this club. And to me, if you look at the lineup, guys of Klay Thompson and Steph Curry's caliber as far as shooting and scoring, it's not easy to replace. Draymond, as great as he is, as good as he is, you can kind of find guys to kind of fill that role to an extent. I mean, you can do it. I mean, you might not be able to find somebody. I mean, really, be honest with you, in some ways, you can kind of improve upon certain things, because you can find a guy who can get you 9 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists, or 7 assists, whatever he's doing. Toughness, but without all of the added distractions. So I think personally, if anybody's going to leave this organization of those four, it's going to be, the three, because Curry's locked in. It's going to be Draymond. And with Kevin Durant, this got to be deja vu, man, because it's obvious that Kevin Durant cannot handle playing with alpha males. You know what I mean? Like, obviously it was Russell Westbrook that caused Kevin Durant to leave Oklahoma City Thunder in the first place. All right, I remember when he first left, and all the interviews that Kevin Durant gave, he was always talking about how everything like is going to be so much easier. I remember seeing the phrase "easy" so much more, so many times in articles. But now, Draymond Green, who is probably even more vocal than Russell in a lot of ways. Like, I think Russell can be terse, but I think Russell is more just his competitiveness. You know, I think with Draymond, now he's competitive, but I think he has a nasty streak in him. I think he is the type of person that is kind of, has a vicious side to him, and I think he says things sometimes to purposely piss people off. And whatever happened, I think knowing Kevin Durant, I don't think he's going to forgive whatever the hell was said. And I think that Kevin Durant could be a bit of a prima donna. And if he does stay, well, this is one thing I know. I'm certain of this now. One of these two are not going to be with the Warriors after this year. At least one of these two, Draymond Green and Kevin Durant. Both of these guys are not going to be playing with the team next year. I'm certain of that now. One of these guys is going to leave. Now, there's always this noise about Kevin Durant going to the Knicks. I thought it was bullshit at the beginning, but I'm still hearing this. I don't see why. And I remember Richard said in his video that I looked at, a good video, Town Biz, I don't know why he would want to go there. I mean, I know that he would elevate that team to a playoff team, just his presence, but I don't know if that team would be good enough to beat the Milwaukee Bucks or the Toronto Raptors or perhaps the Sixers. I don't know if that team will be good enough. I also would think that Kevin Durant's presence on that team might hurt Tim Hardaway Jr.'s game, or at least his numbers. But that's it, man. I think it's. I mean, I'm tell you something. As a Bulls fan, I don't have a rooting interest in the Warriors. I don't like them. So, as a fan, yeah, I want this team to break up. The only thing about it is, if they do get rid of Draymond Green for whatever reason, they're still going to be a championship caliber team. If Kevin Durant doesn't resign, they're still a championship caliber team because it's so loaded. You know, they were a championship team before Kevin Durant got there, and they're going to be a championship caliber team before that. His presence just make them a dream team almost. You know, that's it. But those are my thoughts, man. Tell me what you guys think.